It's really not about a kaiju fight. What it's about is the way the heroes in the DCU differ from one another. The Justice Gang, they're ruthless with the way they do this.
They're a little ragtag. There's no real clear leadership. I know Gardner likes to think of himself as the leader, but I don't know that we respect that.
What's it called again?
Justice Gang.
No.
We're not called that.
James knows very well I'm scared of heights.
He's scared of heights, and so I keep putting up high places.
Wait, then why are you flying?
I want to see him throw up.
I won't throw up. I'll
might.
just wet my pants.
Bang, 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 bang! Open your eyes. A green shield, you've been saved. Then you're gonna look around, you're gonna look up here. It's Gardner. He's got a stupid haircut.
If folks are just somewhat familiar with Green Lantern, they're probably familiar with Hal Jordan, who was handsome and heroic. Guy, he's got a real sore spot about thinking anybody might be considered better than he is.
Gardner he's a jerk, you know? He's one of my favorite characters in DC Comics. I love him from the Justice League International stories especially. I think he was fantastic.
Guy thinks he's the best.
So yesterday you said you remembered the first time we met.
Yes.
And then I forgot to ask, didn't ask you. I said, oh yeah, when you auditioned for me for Slither.
That's right. I want to say
Nathan Fillion has worked with James and myself so many times over the last 20 years, and he always brings something extraordinary to the table. And him as Guy Gardner is perfection. And I think James cast him just so that he can make him look stupid with that bowl cut.
Okay, let's slip this on your head. No, I haven't put any product in it or anything. It moves. Okay.
For our next number, gotta play a little song about love.
Tell me what you think.
I had imagined it was going to be more of a bowl cut.
Oh, okay.
Don't go to me for the final.
No.
If this is what James is looking for.
I can make another wig. It's fine. We have plenty of time, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, look at this.
That's looking a lot better than last time. It looks like a haircut now. Do you want to have a look at the big mirror?
Yeah, much better shape than last time.
Yeah. Okay.
What is it?
I don't know, I think the semi-mullet is kind of good. It's like you can't even choose a mullet right.
I just wondering with this interview with the
Just trim
costume,
that? No.
just take this.
Maybe,
tiny
yeah.
little-
Yeah,
tiny,
that
tiny
makes
bit off.
sense.
Yeah,
That makes
I think you're right.
Maybe just
Yeah.
like a little.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would make it a
sure.
little bit more of a bowl cut.
Yeah.
I think that's super cool. Like, I actually really like that.
Bring it back to bowl cut, man.
Yeah.
You would like to have that haircut.
I had that haircut growing up. It was my favorite. Until my hair got wavy, that's how I had my hair, and I loved it.
The Hawkgirl, her wings are made of nth metal. She's from this other planet.
Isabela brought something special to Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl, you know, historically has been a great character, is pretty well known, but Isabela brought her personality to it.
Oh, good morning. It's me, Isabella. Where's the check, Vinny? I feel like it's a very practical battle suit. I think Judiana and her team did a phenomenal job. I think there's a fine line between like practicality and looking good, and they managed to get both. The helmet is something that was rather quick to get. It was almost like it just made perfect sense right away, and they nailed it. Kendra leads with anger. I think at all times she sort of leads with this sort of like war cry mentality, because I can fly really fast and I have a mace that's completely unforgiving.
Yep. Hawkgirl, pretty tough. She's not nice. She executes a world leader. Probably not the best choice in that situation. Might have ramifications outside of this film.
He's scared, he turns. Cut, outside, smash.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2/3 of the Justice Gang.
2/3, we're almost there.
I was incredibly excited to put Mr. Terrific in a Superman movie, which I don't think anyone expected. I mean, it's the only thing less expected than Guy Gardner.
We're waiting.
Guys, what's up?
Good morning.
Hey, thank you for having
Do you know who debuted 27 years ago today? Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
His birthday.
Mr. Terrific is what he likes to describe as having a natural aptitude for natural aptitudes. This character has a genius-level intellect, and he's also a human being in a world of gods and monsters.
I love his gadgets. He's an ironic character because he's this just dead serious guy about everything.
I'm not into people's emotions.
Yeah, no, totally.
But everything about him is so whimsical.
Mr. Terrific, everyone loved the design. And I said, well, why don't we riff off of that? Because you can't really change Mr. Terrific.
So this
is Mr. Terrific's mask. He has a T-shaped mask on his face. It's a pretty subtle mask, but the process was a little daunting because they wanted it to be very subtle, but they also needed it to blend, so it's a mask that also turns into a makeup.
I feel so dope in the wardrobe. I was just left with this really overwhelming feeling of, I could save the world.
So the Pocket Universe, it's more like a torture chamber. And Metamorpho is tortured by having Joey, having to see his baby and knowing that he is powerless.
Well, obviously everybody knows that kryptonite is Superman's one weakness. One of the early scenes in the movie, it's mentioned that, you know, that we can't locate any kryptonite. So Lex, thinking ahead, captured Metamorpho and his son, and is using his son to make him do what he wants. So Metamorpho has to become part kryptonite to hurt Superman. Pretty smart.
So I think it's really more of a constant struggle for you trying to get up once the kryptonite is done.
I said don't talk to me! Metamorpho, he's a mystery. Even on the page, there's a lot that is kind of left up to the imagination. He's, I think, a very misunderstood character. He has undergone this transformation. His power is manipulation of said elements to basically turn himself into whatever he wants.
I'm gonna have the different elements going from one finger to the next. Okay. That will lead to the sun, and then I'll yell, sun, and that's when the thing's gonna go off, and you guys go off the light. And sun!
It's kind of that thing of being a blessing and a curse. He does not like the way that he looks, which I can certainly relate to. You know, growing up with alopecia, that was something that I wished that I could change about myself back then. It really affected my self-esteem. It affected the way that I moved through the world. You know, Christopher Reeve's Superman was hugely important for me. Christopher had alopecia too, which he kept a secret from a lot of people. That was hugely important for me, to know that someone like that had it, and yet he was Superman. Since then, since kind of accepting that, it really has become a kind of superpower of mine.
Oh, here he is, okay.
What's up, gang?
What's up, man? Legacy's original designs were really great. I just want to make sure that the costume looks really good because it is practical.
Come on, this is so cool. What is life?
I mean, James just said, I want a practical costume. And we're like, oh, okay. Because that's the one we thought would be mocap. Yeah. But Legacy, they're so brilliant. They did a lot of concept work, designs, and they made the real costume, which will barely be enhanced at all.
Copy that.
Oh, hello. This is the first time of many.
The art of prosthetic makeup for film is a very old one. This particular makeup is foam rubber. We chose foam rubber for various reasons, but that hasn't changed much since, honestly, The Wizard of Oz.
Feels good. Yeah. Excellent. It's pretty wild getting to see, you know, this character come to fruition. I've been thinking a lot about who this guy is, and right now we're in that kind of phase of you know, putting it all together and seeing what needs tweaking.
What are your overall thoughts so far?
I think it's great. I would like to see more definition on this side, because right now it is quite blocky. Basically, whatever lines... Contour. Contour, just to show the musculature. When you put on the costume, it's magic. It's a really special opportunity to bring a character to life that's never been done before. The fans that do know Metamorpho really love him. You know, he's kind of like a cult favorite.
What are you gonna do? Splash him? Yes. With fluoroethamonic acid.
There's an interesting dichotomy where you have this incredibly powerful being matched with this pathos of pain. And I think that's right up James's alley. He loves to bring in characters that have that pathos and really find the humanity with it. So I think it was a fantastic choice to bring Metamorpho on, but that's just me.
That was sick. I think the balance of those characters with Superman's singular story is what's actually different in this one.
Maybe you should join the group.
Please.
This movie is kind of a mix of old James and new James, but I would say it is a singular story for Superman, but he also has the Justice Gang.
Justice Gang?
Metamorpho.
That's a cool name. You're in.
Characters that express the values he's trying to convey in the movie.